A terrifying occurrence occurred in the United Kingdom in 1993, involving a young guy named Peter Bryan. Peter, then 23, worked as a store assistant in Chelsea, East London, and fell in love with his boss's daughter, Nisha Seth. However, Peter's unpredictable behavior, which included stealing from the business and displaying unwarranted aggressiveness, resulted in his dismissal from the position. Peter returned to the business on March 18, 1993, equipped with a claw hammer, seeking vengeance. Nisha was killed in the horrific incident, and her 12-year-old brother was injured. However, Peter was sentenced to 7.5 years in a maximum security psychiatric institution after being diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. However, mental health doctors, seeing what they saw as progress, hoped Peter might be reintegrated into society by 2001. As a result, he was freed under supervision in 2002, marking a watershed point in Peter's life that eventually led to a dark and tragic chapter. The ominous events began to unfold on February 17, 2004, when Peter made a fateful visit to the home of Brian Cherry, an acquaintance. Earlier that day, Peter had acquired ominous tools: a Stanley knife, a screwdriver, and a claw hammer. The atmosphere became even more sinister with the arrival of Nicola, whom Brian believed to be his girlfriend. Nicola stumbled upon a nightmarish scene. Brian had become the victim of a brutal murder, dismembered, and parts of his body had been cooked by Peter. The horror deepened when Peter confessed to the ghastly act of consuming Brian's brain. The justification of Peter's release under supervision in 2002 and the macabre events of 2004 raised profound questions about the effectiveness of mental health rehabilitation and the adequacy of safeguards in place. The chilling nature of Peter's actions following his release underscores the intricate challenges associated with managing individuals with severe mental illnesses, especially those with a history of violence. The tools Peter had purchased on that ominous day, the Stanley knife, screwdriver, and claw hammer, became instruments of unspeakable horror, turning Brian Cherry's residence into a gruesome crime scene. Nicola's unwitting arrival added another layer of shock, revealing the extent of Peter's depravity. Brian's murder, dismemberment, and subsequent consumption of his brain stand as stark reminders of the potential dangers posed by individuals released into the community without adequate assessment and safeguards. Moreover, Peter's confession to Nicola, detailing the grotesque act of consuming Brian's brain, serves as a harrowing testament to the disturbed mental state he found himself in. This shocking revelation adds another layer to the narrative, indicating that the potential risks associated with severe mental illnesses may not have been thoroughly addressed during Peter's time in psychiatric care. The tragic events of 2004 exposed the limitations of the mental health and criminal justice systems in managing individuals with severe mental illnesses. Peter's descent into darkness, marked by the heinous murder of Brian Cherry, prompts a critical examination of the protocols in place to assess and monitor those with a history of violence. The lack of effective oversight in Peter's case highlights the need for a more comprehensive approach to mental health rehabilitation, ensuring the safety of both individuals and the community. When Peter returned to prison, his mental state swiftly deteriorated, and he began to display aggressive inclinations. After being transferred to Broadmoor Hospital, a maximum security mental prison, Peter assaulted fellow inmate Richard Loudwell in April 2004, killing him. During this time, Peter freely revealed an unsettling urge for cannibalism, arguing that it was a natural need. Peter Bryan was charged with the deaths of Brian Cherry and Richard Loudwell. His sentence was reduced to 15 years on appeal after he was first condemned to life in prison, with a minimum term of 35 years owing to a serious mental disorder. Despite the cut, Peter is unlikely to be freed anytime soon. An investigation of the supervisory shortcomings in Peter's case was conducted, but no disciplinary action was taken against those involved. In a separate update, a favorable development in the case of Diane Pransky, which was discussed in a previous video, emerged. Diane's injuries need round-the-clock care and a new wheelchair, prompting a heartfelt response from the community. Active fundraising raised more than $14,000 in donations, providing relief and aid to Diane. The success of the event demonstrated the community's compassion and generosity in assisting people in need. The tragic events surrounding Peter Bryan serve as a stark illustration of the intricate challenges of managing individuals with severe mental illnesses within the criminal justice system. This narrative underscores the complexities involved in balancing the need for justice with the imperative of addressing mental health issues comprehensively, while simultaneously ensuring the safety of both individuals grappling with mental illnesses and the wider community. The unfolding of this grim tale began with the initial incident in 1993, revealing the alarming escalation escalation of Peter Bryan's obsession with Nisha Seth, the termination of his employment at the clothing store acted as a catalyst, propelling him towards vengeful actions. This culminated in a brutal assault that not only claimed the life of Nisha, but also inflicted injuries on her younger brother. The disturbing incident brought to light the volatile intersection of mental health and the criminal justice system. The decision to release Peter under observation in 2002 prompted concerns about the efficacy of the mental health rehabilitation procedure. Professionals trusted Peter's development, but events in 2004 showed a darker aspect to his mental health. The terrible murder of Brian Cherry, along with Peter's admission of devouring brain tissue, highlighted the shortcomings in identifying and managing people with serious mental disorders, particularly those with a history of violent behavior. Peter's return to violent behavior in 2004, including the attack on Richard Loudwell, underlined the hazards of releasing people with serious mental disorders into the community without proper precautions. The investigation into oversight failings revealed systematic flaws in the management of persons with serious mental diseases, requiring a critical assessment of current standards. In contrast to the depressing story of Peter Bryan, the update on Diane Pransky brought a ray of optimism and community support. The fundraiser's success showcased the collective compassion and generosity of people joining together to help someone in need. Diane's situation served as a good backdrop to the tragic circumstances surrounding Peter Bryan, highlighting the significance of community engagement and support during difficult times. The complications of dealing with serious mental diseases in the criminal justice system necessitate a sophisticated and all-encompassing strategy. The example of Peter Bryan is a harsh reminder of the hazards and obstacles that come with releasing people with such illnesses into society. As the legal and mental health systems battle with these issues, the community's reaction to Diane Pransky's fundraising demonstrates the communal power of empathy and support. It emphasizes the beneficial influence that individuals may have in assisting and comforting those who are enduring misfortune. Currently, on March 15, 2005, Peter Bryan, now known as Peckish Pete, pleaded guilty to 2 charges of manslaughter based on diminished responsibility. Judge Giles Forrester first imposed a whole-life tariff, but this ruling was reversed a year later by Lord Chief Justice Phillips. As a result, a new sentence was imposed, a minimum of 15 years in Broadmoor. However, the chance of his release remains remote. Bryan's legal complexities, from a life sentence to a reduced 15-year minimum sentence in a psychiatric facility, raise questions about the complexities of managing individuals with severe mental illnesses within the justice system, as well as the delicate balance between accountability and mental health considerations. Despite the amendment, the probability of Peter Bryan's reintegration into society remains uncertain, highlighting the persistent difficulties in deciding suitable sentences for those dealing with serious mental health concerns. As we get to the end of this harrowing account of Peter Bryan's plunge into darkness, we are left wondering, how can society find a balance between justice and humane mental health measures to assure everyone's safety? Your insights on this subject are priceless. Well, that's it for today. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you at the next one.